Good morning, good evening everyone. Hopefully I am audible. So this is our annual webinar that we do at the start of the interview preparation season, and we'll talk about what the season entails, how you should prepare for it, and what are the typical pitfalls. Before we get started in terms of the interview preparation, how we go about it, there are obviously mock interviews. There are classes, there is one-on-one advisory, we help you in rank order list, program outreach, we do it in a closed Telegram group, and we also have program-specific guidance and interview preparation. And we are now, of course, enrolling. For those of you who may be interested, you can reach out to Jaydeep. It is mostly learning from mistakes. So Jaydeep went through this process at least twice. So Jaydeep, talk about what mistakes you made and what you learned from it, or anything else that you want to talk about. I know you are on a call, so I'm not going to push you too much.
Thank you, Pawan. So I would like to say you start early, drive slowly, and reach safely. It's really essential to start practicing early for the interviews, be it one interview that you've got, or 10 interviews you've got, or 20 interviews, it does not matter. And that one interview could be the place where you match and where you land up to. So it's confidence, and that comes when you start early, drive slowly and steady, and reach safely, which is the goal to making into the dream residency that we all desire. So something important is not to take it for granted that you don't practice. And in practice, it also means that you find out, you research the programs that have invited you, finding out what interests you the most, and the appropriate questions that you as the person who will be interviewing is going to ask the program director or the people who are interviewing. And they also you should always practice with a friend or with somebody who can guide you. You can record, or as Dr. Shah mentioned, you can do it in front of the mirror, which is actually a true guide as to how fast you're speaking, whether you're building the right eye contact, the facial expressions you're doing. Yet, in all this practice, you should not forget that it's important to be authentic. Because what stands out besides the practice and besides the relentless hard work that goes in is the authenticity and the truth that who you are comes out. And once you are abiding in that, you are confident. And program directors and program people who are interviewing you can make that you're coming from a genuine place. So it's important to rehearse enough, but rehearse to a point where it comes natural to you. And you flow in a flow, and there's nothing artificial about what you're speaking. The other things, practical instructions would include you seeing the venue, the hospital, much in advance, because it might be snowing in December or January, and you might have problems with the transport. So it's important that you see the place, you find a suitable way to commute to that, be it the train or be it an Uber or a Lyft that you'll take. The other thing is, as Dr. Shah and George mentioned, is to build a good relationship with everybody and anybody that you meet. So be it the first person you meet at the door, and it can be as simple as wishing them good morning and building a good eye contact and a cheerful smile. So that sets in, and that shows that you are somebody happy to deal with, and you would be a good asset to the program. The other thing is to be a good listener. Something which, as an IMG, we tend to ignore is we don't listen to the person who's speaking. So it's important to understand and allow the other person to speak. Listen and build appropriate eye contact, and with suitable nods and non-verbal communication, which Dr. Shah mentioned at length. And in this way, the person who's speaking will know that you are interested in their conversation, and then replying accordingly. Not much, not less. The 90-second rule can be used, but yet making it as authentic as possible, because in true authenticity lies your true confidence. If it comes out as it's scripted or it's artificial, because every second person whom they're interviewing is talking the same thing, why they like IM or why they like pediatrics, or it's all the same thing. But when it comes from an authentic place, when it comes from the heart, the answer is suffused with confidence. And that is what each program is looking. And at the same time, you also display your leadership qualities, definitely not in a manner which is arrogant and brash, but in a manner which is covered with humility but confidence. And with these points, with a good listening skills and a good eye contact, you can record yourself. Like, that's the best way to know how you're articulating. It's important as a foreign medical graduate to speak clearly and softly. which means when you're dealing with different accents and people of different cultural backgrounds, especially somebody who's trained in the US, the accent might be difficult, for an Indian or a foreign medical graduate to be understood. So in that case, it's important to slow down, correctly articulate and pronounce every word that you're doing so that you're laying enough emphasis, articulating, and you're understood as to what you're speaking. And above that, it's to just keep a good faith that the program that you walk into is the program that is interested in you. So you also ask appropriate questions to the program director, which should show and portray your interest into that program. And that would include your thorough homework in finding out what interests you in the program. So you should remember that this is not just a game where you are begging for a position. It's also a place where you are questioning and are interested in finding out the highlights and the strengths that the program would offer so that you can train into and give back. So with those motives, the questions should be asked. And each of those questions should show your strong interest. It should not be something which is going to bring the program down by asking a question which might not be taken in the right way, but it should be something which would help you to know more about the program and show your interest into that program. And end of all, I would like to say, in the heart endowed with faith burns the eternal flame of hope, which leaves no room for discouragement. And even if it's the one program that you are called to, make it the best, because that might be the program. It doesn't matter if you get 10 interviews or 20 interviews. It might just be the one program that calls you and is the right place and the best place for you. So use it as the best opportunity that grace has offered to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jaideep. Very, very inspirational, I should say. All right, and I know many of you on the panel may have to go for calls, etc. You're all working, so if you need to leave, that's fine. Otherwise, if there are questions now, we can open up for questions, guys. You can chat. You can put in the chat window, and we'll wait a couple of minutes if there are any questions. I think there was one question on the MSPE, so the importance of MSPE. The format doesn't really matter. Statement of purpose is 690 words. It doesn't fit on one page. That's not a problem. Try to do it. If not, there's no hard and fast rule. I think less than 800 words should be okay.